Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross for The Rock Never Stops. Tonight I want to do this video to recap the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Phoenix Suns. Um, if you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, you're probably not going to like this video. But if you enjoy it, smash the like button for me. Hopefully you could take some uh, subjective perspective on your team and get something from it. If you don't enjoy it, feel free to pass on. Look, I just wanted to start off by saying um, the Minnesota Timberwolves, man, they're like one of those teams you watch, especially as you get older, right? As you play basketball, especially if you played any competitive level outside of maybe like pickup high school. Shoot, even high school, you could probably see it. But there's a big difference between playing pickup ball, running up and down the court, getting up shots, and playing winning basketball. Now, let me preface this by saying the Minnesota Timberwolves have, I believe, turned a corner. They are playing winning basketball. But the majority of winning basketball has been without Karl Anthony Towns. And if you know my channel, you know I'm not a big fan of his. Not in terms of his talent, but in terms of his leadership. He kind of reminds me of like a DeMarcus Cousins, a Kyrie Irving, guys that are incredibly talented, but don't know how to translate that to winning consistently at the biggest stage, which is in the NBA, getting into the playoffs, right, and pursuing a championship. And the reason why I say that is because there is a point in time in the game, and Russell Westbrook fits into this as well, where you have to know how to manage the game. You have to understand why you're doing what you're doing and what outcome that it potentially brings you and your team. And when you watch the Minnesota Timberwolves, especially Karl Anthony Towns, you see that this guy just kind of plays basketball off of his talent. And he's incredibly talented, incredibly talented. But the talent, it doesn't translate because he's not necessarily doing what is best in the moment for the purpose of winning versus I'm just playing and doing what I know I can do and believing that it'll translate to wins. And there's a big difference, right? If you watch the game, if you especially down the stretch in the fourth quarter, I think it was around 5 minutes and change. There was a sequence where the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think they were within about like 3 points. No, it was actually tied, I believe. And early in the shot clock, Karl Anthony Towns has the ball at the top of the key. He gets a little bit of daylight, shoots the three, comes off. Then Anthony Edwards gets the offensive, or somebody gets the offensive rebound, swings it to Anthony Edwards, shoots it, shoots a three, misses again. They get another offensive rebound, kick it. This time I believe it's Kyle Anderson who gets it, and he misses a three as well. And it was a back-to-back-to-back missed three. And in that moment, I remember saying to myself, oh, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. Because then you see a team like Phoenix and what they do on the other end. They immediately attack the basket. They work their offense around, pass, screen away, cut through. Guys are moving. They get the ball in the hands of the person they want to make the play, whether it's Chris Paul or Devin Booker, and they attack the rim. They don't always score. But the reason why you attack the rim is because it puts you in a position where you're putting pressure on the defense and the referees to make a call. They actually almost got a call, but it got overturned. But nevertheless, them putting pressure on the defense, one, forced Minnesota to work hard on that end of the court, giving them less energy on the offensive end. What that does is it allows you to have an advantage defensively when you come back down. Also, many times, guys are able to rest on the offensive end, especially when you're just trying to work the ball into the hands of your primary scorers or facilitators, right? Chris Paul or Devin Booker. And so the other guys are able to kind of take a breather. What this does is it allows those guys to play more intense defense on the other end so you can get things like steals, blocks, and get into transition so you can get easy baskets, right? There is a method to the madness of why you attack the basket, of why you run your offense, of why you do not bail the other team out by just chucking up threes, especially early in the shot clock. And this is something that Minnesota hasn't figured out. And it's a shame because they have the requisite weaponry to be able to do so, right? They have guys like Anthony Edwards who can get to the rim at will. You got guys like Karl Anthony Towns who can get to the rim at will from just about anywhere on the court. But instead of doing that, they bail the defense out constantly, constantly. And it's a shame because you look at how much talent they have and you would think that they would be able to impose their will. And yet it never seems like they're imposing their will. It always seems like they're just playing to their talent. They're doing what they know they can do without any regard for is this the best or the most efficient, the most effective means of winning the game. Remember, there's a big difference here. There's a big difference. And so when I see the Minnesota Timberwolves, I mean, they're currently, what, seventh in the West. But I still don't believe in them for making the playoffs. I don't. Because when you look at them and they start playing against teams like the New Orleans Pelicans, definitely the Los Angeles Lakers, Oklahoma City Thunder, in the play-in tournament, what's going to happen? It's going to be all about game management. It's going to be all about play to play to play basketball. And if they don't have an understanding of how to do that at this point, when they get there, they're going to struggle mightily, mightily. And considering they're already at what, 77 games? You got 5 more games within the season, right? If you haven't figured out how to win these types of games, not just have the talent to stay in it, because you have that type of talent, and they have, like I said at the beginning, they've turned the corner to be able to get to this point. But there is still a way of managing and understanding the game that sets teams apart. This is literally the difference between a number 4 seed Phoenix Suns and a number 7 playing Minnesota Timberwolves. But as always, I want to know what you all think. Do you think Minnesota understands how to win these types of big games? Do you think that they're going to be able to do it in the play-in? Because I think they're probably going to end up in the play-in. Or do you think this is just a fluke and they really, they understand how to win these games and they're probably going to, get into the playoffs? Holler at me in the comment section and I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.